Let's get started.
Welcome to episode 6 of Fusionlore with your host, the magical dealer. Say hello.
Hello.
And myself, Oris, also known as Matt. Before we begin, this episode is brought to you by Extra Fizzy Flying Soda. If you're not flying, we're not fizzy. While supplies last, located right behind the cul-de-sac.
Under a trailer.
Let's begin. Yeah, under the trailer, right next to the porta potty. Let's begin. So, how would you like to start this off?
Oh, brother, I got something for you. I've had a realization that has just made all the things I've complained about in this game so far click. It's made it make total sense to me. Okay. Right. Okay. This entire time I've been complaining about, why are people acting this way in the middle of an alien invasion, in the midst of world-ending events? The world is literally in danger. We have...
You mean hold on. Go ahead. Sorry.
We literally have areas of the world that are like blocked off because they're so dangerous and toxic, and we're losing people. We have monuments ready to display the people who die. We had to go get the help of the Grim Reaper to stop death for a little while. And it clicked in my head, Matt. It clicked in my head. FusionFall is so much more realistic than we have ever given it credit for. We have had the unfortunate misery of living through real world events where the end of the world was kind of happening. We've lived through a pandemic. We've had the government come out and tell us aliens were real. Just recently, we had them come out again and be like, hey, the aliens are in the ocean. We've been in contact with them, blah, 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 blah. And yet, nobody cares. Nobody really cares. When the pandemic was around, nobody was wearing masks correctly, or at least not the majority of people, and it was still spreading around. And you had people who didn't think it was real to begin with. And that is contextualizing everything that's happening in this game. No wonder Blossom wants to go on a picnic. She doesn't care. She's super powered. Who cares about that? I can spare some time for a picnic. And the missions we're going to talk about today, there are a couple of things that we wrote down in the notes. We're like, why do you guys keep doing this stuff when we're in the middle of the end of the world? And it just, people are going to be people. People are going to be people no matter what. They're always going to have different opinions about things that are going on. And there are definitely people in the FusionFall world who are just like, I don't care if the world is being invaded, or it just doesn't bother them at all.
There are people that, despite all the facts being out in front of them, and I guess I didn't give the characters too much credit because it just seemed ridiculous that they were all acting one way when the world was quite literally in shambles, where there's people with the facts that they're laid out all in front of them. We're telling them one thing, and then they're like, nah, I need to go focus on this other thing. That's more important for me right now. Mm-hmm. And it totally makes sense. It's like when we're met with, it's, you know something? Mm. I really did not give them any credit, because there are some people who do that out of just pure, how do I say this, ignorance.
Yeah.
And there are people that do it just to cope with their own situations.
Yes.
And if their life wasn't up to par before the world was ending, why the hell should they care after?
And if you want to take it even further, if you just want to take it just a tiny bit further, you could say that our player character is even more motivated to help save the world, because we've already seen what will happen if we don't try. We have been to the brink. We've seen the world at its end, and we've been sent back to give it another chance.
It's funny because we've seen the world for what it could be. And that's our motivator. But it's even funnier to know that the locations where the most delusional people are tend to have been the more, how do I say this, more intact areas left in the future.
No, you say that, right? You say that, but like the missions here, right? If you want to hop right into the missions, right? So we did the missions in the cul-de-sac and the park and flush area, the whole like Beach Creek area, right? So mainly the cul-de-sac, the flush and park, and a little bit of Sector V. And so, like, I thought the smidgiest sprinkle of Pokeokes, right?
And Candy Cove, but that's like
We just
minuscule.
touched it. We just touched it. And that was it.
Yeah.
Right. But if anybody in the events of the end of the world were going to be full on like non-believers or not give a flying fuck about it whatsoever, it would be people who lived in trailer parks. Not to say anything bad about trailer park people. If you live in trailer park, I bet you're a lovely person. I'm just saying those type of people typically have a I don't care type of attitude. They usually have way much more going on in their life to give a flying fuck about anything else going on. And I say this because they're home. The Kankers are still in that trailer park and it is overrun with fusions. There are newsprint ninjas all over there and they're like, we live here.
First of all, they're just chilling like 10 feet away from some of them and they don't give a fuck. And not to mention, they're building a Trojan burger to try to infiltrate the cul-de-sac.
Yeah. Well, okay, right. That's you brought that up, right? I think it is Lee Kanker who says, I'm scrolling down here. Yeah, Lee Kanker says the Eds built a fort and they won't let us in. So the Eds have willfully like sacrificed the Kanker sisters. They said, if anybody's gonna die, we rather it be them. They are not welcome in our fortitude over here.
If you remember the mission, the love potion mission, I don't blame them. I don't.
What do you have to say? You had a lot to say about the love. What is it, Marie's scheme?
Yeah, Marie's scheme. That mission is horrendous and really a true test of character for yourself and whether or not you want to go through with those missions in the first place. Because first of all, that's not the only one per se, but specifically Marie's schemes, the love potion, she wants to give it to Ed.
Mm-hmm.
And Ed immediately sees something that's wrong with this.
She wants to give it a double D.
Double D, right? And he's just like, no, this seems off. Please go give this to Licorice Lips, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you get an idea of what. Okay, this is clearly a weird drink that she cast upon you to give to Ed as Double D as your responsibility. But then Double D gets a great idea, and he's like, you know what? You know who would really like this? Licorice Lips. And no one knows who this person is, but when you meet him and you give him the potion, he gives it a little sniff. And he tells you that it reminds you, it reminds him specifically of lime juice, hickory, and feet. Then he says it could be interesting and drinks it. He's a freak.
He's down the cloud, man. He doesn't discriminate.
He's a freak. And not to mention, he thought it was delicious. Then he apparently, maybe, I'm not saying it worked, but maybe the love potion actually worked. Now I feel bad that if I gave it to Ed and he drank it, what would happen to him? Because now he's giving Marie chocolates.
And love letters.
Listen, I don't know. That is the strangest thing I've run into in this game so far. Anyway.
So you're fine with sacrificing them to the fusions as well.
Listen, they're strange. Okay. Listen, they live up to their what's it called? Their history in the show as being absolutely strange. But
I'll go along with that because when we were doing the missions, Double D was relentless and be like, please watch out for yourself. You're going to go talk to some of the nastiest and stinkiest people I know. And I had felt bad when I was reading it, but when we were doing the missions for them, at least for Lee Kanker specifically, she was saying some weird stuff, man. She was like, hey, they took my tweezers. Go get my tweezers back. Oh, thank you. I can pick out these chin hairs. I should probably get my boogers out with this. You think it's bad if I put this in my mouth too? They don't practice good hygiene over there.
No, they do not.
But I don't think that means we can just sacrifice them.
No, but listen, okay, I feel like purely the fact that they won't even let them pay to get into the cul-de-sac, because let's not forget.
Which says
Eddie
a lot. That says a lot.
It does say a lot. Eddie is a greedy person. And if he's not willing to take monetary value for their safety, that says a lot about their character. Wait. I can't even lie.
I'm trying to find it. Eddie said something earlier that I took a screenshot of, which was in reference to like money. Eddie was like, the cardboard fortress keeps the monsters out and the profits up. So he's 100% charging people to stay there, whether that's entry per hour, per day. Who knows? He's making money off of this wartime. He's a wartime profiter.
He's a horrible person.
Oh, and speaking of the fortress, right? If you talk to most of the people in the cul-de-sac, everybody has something to say about the cardboard fortress. No one understands how the cardboard fortress works. We were talking a little bit about this in, I think, like our second episode. But everybody was like, I don't know what he did, man, but he put this cardboard up and it's keeping the monsters out. It's protecting us somehow.
I think what was it? Who said it?
All the rangers that are like positioned around the fortress, which, by the way, if the fortress is doing its job of keeping the monsters out, why do we have children surrounding the perimeter of the outside to keep it safe? The fortress is already doing that. What? And I bet they're not being paid. They're rangers. I bet Eddie like manipulated them and being like, you'll get a badge. You'll get a badge for this. I'll give you our own urban ranger badge for protecting us. No money, though. No, don't ask me for money. Lay your lives on the line for me. But I figured it out, right? I figured out
yeah,
why it protects them, right? Because I was like running around. I was trying to figure it out. My initial idea was that the boxes had something to do with imaginary energy, because we already know, it has been told to us in the game, that imaginary energy is very effective against fusions. And in both the future and the past versions of the cul-de-sac, there's been at least one imaginary friend there while everybody else is there. And I thought that their presence being there was like exuding imaginary energy, and that was affecting the fort. But now, if you read the boxes that are actually the fort is made out of, it says from Foster's home from imaginary friends. Ed stole these boxes from Foster's. These boxes do have imaginary energy in them because they spend all their time around imaginary friends, and that's why it's protecting everybody. I don't know if they knew that, but that's why it's protecting everybody.
Oh my God. They do say that. It's all reversed though.
Mm-hmm. I wanted some sleuthing, some investigating.
I can't believe it.
I don't know what's funnier, that they did that on accident, or that everybody who lives there is just like, my trust is in these boxes. I don't know how they're working, but I choose to have faith that this cardboard will stop them.
They really weren't sure how it worked, and I guess that makes a lot of sense now that you say that out loud. Like, the fact remains that even in the future, there was an imaginary friend located within the cul-de-sac. So maybe their presence in general invokes the ability for the boxes to remain stable in some way or regard. But that way, actually, no. Oh my God. Only Coco remains in the past, or is it at least only here in the past, and then Wilt is in the front.
That's not Coco. That's an Egger. God. Coco's.
But wouldn't the Egger be?
I don't know what the Egger is, man.
So is only one presence needed then?
I think the boxes, by virtue of coming from Foster's home, had some residual imaginary energy on them. But maybe having a imaginary friend there also helps like anchor it. Maybe.
That's what I was trying to like think. Like there has to have some like anchor properties as to why this fort is so strong. And the fact that Wilt is stationed out right by the entrance kind of just sells that home for me, at least.
Oh man, and poor Wilt. If you talk to Wilt, he says he's welcoming everybody in and out of the cul-de-sac. And then he's like, if I leave, who's going to keep opening these doors they have here? He's there out of like obligation because he feels bad. Eddie is absolutely manipulating Wilt. He's like, I'll be so alone if you don't stay here and protect us. While Wilt's family is like over there also dealing with the war. Poor Wilt, man.
But not to say it like that, but even Foster's home is like, their house is not experienced any issues
that we know of
besides the maze.
We don't know that yet. We haven't really deep dive into that area. We'll get there eventually, but with the information we have now, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not, but only time will tell. In that regard, though, seriously, every single person you talk to has something to say about the fort and how it's just how is it working, or what's going on in specifics in the cul-de-sac. But in every regard, you look around and you wonder, how is he paying these people? Is he profiteering, or is he actually being good guy Eddie?
I don't think Eddie is paying a single person.
You would think that, right? But like, hey, at least they got lunch with their chocolate stick weapons that they can eat.
You think those are made of chocolate? I think that's just a stick. You talking about the urban rangers on the outside that are like guarding?
Yeah.
I think that's just a stick. You think that's chocolate?
It looks like chocolate.
I think that's just a texture thing. I think that's just a stick. And they're like, that'll be enough.
No, it's a real weapon you can even buy.
What is the weapon called?
It's called chocolate stick.
Oh my god. In the vein of imaginary energy being very potent against fusions, I guess if you just believe hard enough that your weapon will hurt them, that it will. I imagine this chocolate stick will be deadly to you. Ah!
Okay, but can we talk about the back and forth and some of the missions in regards to specifically Ranger Joey?
Oh, like, go ahead.
I think okay, so between the back and forth that we have going between the cul-de-sac and the trailer park, like that is one of the better, I would say, back and forths this game has ever had. Just in my humble opinion.
Just for this level specifically.
Just for this level specifically.
All we had to do was jump over a wall.
And in the beginning missions that we have for Ranger Joey, for what was the mission called? For Foster's?
The continuation of the Nano Project?
Yes, the continuing. Okay. In that regard, that is the most consistent mission line that looks like it's actually doing a difference for us as a player and a character, It's actually, in a sense, that is the most world building where the mission that we have actually means something. Well, it actually has some weight to carry.
Well,
like, think about it.
I have some thoughts.
We just handed out love potions and whatever Ed was making, Double D Ed was making his thingamajig or whatever.
Oh, that's what ridiculous. Look,
a boxing glove with fox teeth.
Double D might be the dumbest smart person we have in this war. At least he's trying, though. I mean, maybe we don't know. Imaginary friends were the most potent thing we had against fusion. So who knows if whatever thing that Double D is going to make is actually going to help or not. It might. I don't know. But the Nano Project that I want to speak about, I understand that nanos are the thing that are killing fusions. They are outright saving us. If it's not for them, we would die. But
yes,
do we really need to make nanos of every single person? I can understand some of the people we've made nanos of so far. The Powerpuff Girls, literally super powered beings. The kids next door, highly capable fighters. Do we really need to be trying to make a nano out of the Kanker Sisters?
No.
Why are we researching possible ways to make nanos of the Cankers? I don't understand. I don't get it. Oh, I'm no FusionFall scientist.
We already have Eddie as one of the nanos, all right? Like, and the fact remains is at least he has a healing nano.
Hey, Eddie. At least he's got like the brain. He's got the strategies. He's got maybe the nano can extort the fusions too. Maybe give me a quarter or go home.
Maybe the Kanker Sisters will freak them out enough and they'll just leave. Who knows?
I didn't think about that actually. I just popped my nano and they're like, "Yo, you know what, dude? We don't have to fight. I'll actually go home.
Here's all my drops.
You got it. I don't want to deal with that. That thing looks weirder than I do." You know what? Oh, you know what? I just remembered. What was is it?
Oh my God.
The fizzy soda mission, right? So we go back and forth and get the fizzy soda, and they're like, "Who has our soda? You have our soda. We don't have your soda. You have a soda." And the Kankers and the Eds are like going back and forth for a bottle of soda. Blah, 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 whatever. Doesn't matter. To where we get to the end of the mission line, and they're like, hey, actually, we know where the soda was all along. We're sorry that we tricked you. One, why did they make us do that for 4 missions? Be like, we don't know where the soda is. Actually, we do know where the soda is. 2, we find out that the soda was taken by Fusion Princess.
What is she doing there? And why did they actually no. Didn't Fusion Princess convince the Kanker sisters to give it to her?
Yeah, literally she was like, yeah, Fusion Princess tricked us into getting, well, they say the new girl tricked us into getting the soda. Do you not know what a fusion looks like? They're all over your trailer park. Why are you listening to anything a fusion tells you to do? What? I know I just said that whole thing at the beginning of the episode about like certain people not caring about the end of the world and they're going to do whatever they want to do regardless. But still, I would think if an alien came down to Earth in our world and was like, hey, I need you to go steal this thing for me, they'd be like, no, I'm not going to do that. No. Not just be like, okay, sir, whatever it takes. What?
But I'm not gonna lie though. Upon looking at the part 404 for Extra Fizzy Fly and Fusion, Lee Canker does say it's not our fault that weird new girl tricked us into trying to get the special fizzy soda from the Eds. Don't complain to us. Maybe she has the soda. So maybe she has the soda. She told us to find her inside the slimy portal if we ever found it. So we don't even know who has the soda. So for 4 missions, we're looking for this damn soda.
Mm-hmm.
And even at the end of it, it is just like, you know what? I don't even, we have no idea who has a soda at this point. It's a real shame. And it's like, why did we go through all this?
Why do we do anything in FusionFall? Some of the missions that we take, I question the players' like motives. Like, you find out about these missions and you're like, I guess I'll help you. Is it for the reward? Can we get a reward every time we do something? Is our player just broke and they're like, I'll take the money, man. Whatever. Sure. I think
not to mention.
Well, go ahead.
You know what? In that regard, also, I just wanted to say the Kanker sisters were unable to tell the difference between a human being and a fusion.
Yeah.
And just refer to her as the weird new girl.
Yeah.
That's concerning. That's all I wanted to add.
It is very concerning.
It makes me wonder how they survived.
Well,
anyway,
at the same time, Lee can't see that well either. She has all that hair in her eye. Maybe she just didn't see her. Maybe she just saw. Maybe she just heard her voice and was like, "That's a weird sounding girl." But girls help girls.
That also puts into questions. Fusions can talk.
Oh yeah, I think other missions we've had have spoke about like fusions talking before. I can't remember. I know future missions we're going to do are definitely going to talk about fusions talking and communicating.
That is terrifying. Anyway,
at the end of this mission line, they talk about there definitely was soda and it is missing. But Lee is asking the real question of why Fuse wanted the soda in the first place. I'm going to guess that we're going to have a future mission that revisits this soda for some reason. Or at least I hope, because why ask that question if it's not going to go anywhere? What did Fuse want the soda for? Is Fuse as useless as everybody else here? Who is the most capable person here?
Something. They have to be foreshadowing something.
Maybe. I don't know. What's happening in FusionFall?
Nobody knows.
I had these ideas that the story was like so deep and like thoughtful and things were like crazily going on. And sometimes we get glimpses of that. And then other times we're having picnics with sodas and pickles.
Fusion pickles. And yeah, I mean, listen, as the story progresses, as we progress through these missions, I feel like the most input we'll ever truly have towards the progression of FusionFall as a whole is the player's own entries in your journal as to what's going on around in the world and your own take on what you've done to help and assist people. That's it.
Do you think we're just trying to help as many people as we can? Do you think our player was so affected by seeing the state of the world and people's morale in the future, and that's motivating us to be like, let's help as many people as we can along the way? Sure, I don't have to do these missions, but it'll like make their day that much better.
It also comes into question because now we're kind of aware that fusions are just being manufactured over and over and over again, and these are regular occurrences in some of the mission lines that we've had where someone gets something stolen and then that same fusion has to has to be defeated, and then we get the nano for that mission. But in every regard, that makes me think like, okay, if these fusions can be remade over and over again,
we have to make some type of clarification for which fusions we're talking about. There are little fusions, which are the mobs. They're like the ones that came out of Terra Fusers and they affected stuff around. There are character fusions, let's call them character fusions, that are like the Cartoon Network characters. And then there's Fuse.
Yes.
So who are you talking about right now?
Right now, I am talking about just the character and the mobs, I guess to say. But it makes me put into question, like, can Fuse be remade? Is that a thing that happens? And to what end are we fighting?
Brother, that's a question that I've had for a long time. Is Fuse the planet, or is Fuse a guy on the planet? And people are very divided on it. I think the prevailing theory is that Fuse himself is the planet, and if you want to kill him, you would have to blow up that planet, because we're not gonna talk about it more for like a long time down the road. But I think when you beat Fuse, they're like, you didn't really beat him, you beat like his avatar or something.
Interesting. It's an interesting thought process, but it makes me truly wonder to what end we have this, because it seems like we're being subjected to this like loop per se, and that to these characters around us, these are normal occurrences that are happening over and over again. For us, we're experiencing for the first time, and that just doesn't bode well in the long run, in my opinion.
I don't know. I think we're doing what we can. I'm gonna stick with my theory that we're just so empathetic of everybody around us that we'll help anybody who ever asks, and we'll also keep fighting the war along the way. Because right now we're the most reliable and motivated person in the game. We had to go wake up sleeping children this level so they could go a war. Wake up, kids! The world is still under attack.
For some reason, we got Ranger Joey a hairy chest badge. But,
look, people who know me know I got beef with that man. But learning more about his character, I got even more beef with Ranger Joey. I didn't know that he was so much of a wimp. He couldn't. We had to go do a mission, hairy chest, where we go get a throwing star from one of the newspaper ninjas, so he could get a bravery patch for his Urban Ranger thing. First of all, I earned that patch. Give me that patch. Give it to me. I earned it. You didn't do nothing. Also,
he even says that.
If you're going to be this scary during the war, go sleep with the rest of the kids. Go back to bed. Why are you out here? I hate Ranger Joey.
I guess that's why he's on the research side of things.
He's not even researching. We're doing that too.
Well, yes, we're researching, but he's giving the mission to go get the stuff for the research.
He gave us the mission to go pick up an item so he can give that item to the people doing the actual research.
You know, when you phrase it like that, it makes me feel like he's just...
What is he doing? We could cut him out. He is just a middleman. We could go take the item to the people doing the research.
He's Ranger Joey is just Eddie's, protege.
He's pathetic. Ranger Joey is pathetic. I'm going to stand on this hill till I die. I hate Ranger Joey. Wimp. Get him out of here. Why is he must have a lot of money. He must be paying Eddie top dollar. Eddie, I'll give you so much money if you please let me live in there. He's a wimp. A wimp.
Oh, man. Even hints that we should have the badge for the hairy chest of resilience.
That's right. He's like, you earned this. You should get it. And he still takes it. Hey, Ranger Joe.
Did that rekindle the fire within you?
Yes. Can't stand Ranger Joey. Get him out of here, man. Kick him out of the fortress. I don't care how much money he has. Eddie, I'll pay you money to kick him out. I bet he'll get kicked out then.
How many taros, Eddie? How many taros?
I'll give you 100K right now.
We'll start a GoFundMe.
His eyes turned into dollar signs. He's like, 100K, you say? Consider it done.
He could be stationed elsewhere. I don't care.
As long as it's not here.
Wherever you want.
Take him to the Darklands. Sure, he'll love it there.
Nah, drop him in the wilds. He needs some experience in the field.
The only thing left that I have that I wanted to mention was when we do the mission for Eddie where we have to go take a picture of Sticky Beard, which is what New Creeping Town, I believe. When we go, Eddie's like, there's a beast roaming around, rampaging, blah 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 blah. Please go take a picture of it. I'm gonna be rich. And we go get the camera from Double D. Double D is like, there's no such thing as a rampaging beast. Double D, what are you talking about? You're literally in a fortress that you made to keep monsters out of your neighborhood. What do you mean there's no rampaging beast? And if you're like, when I was going around trying to get extra information to write down for my notes, you noticed that the cul-de-sac like fortress is completely surrounded. Like they are on the very edge. Like as soon as you hop over that cardboard wall, there are monsters on every end of the fortress. Like they are surrounded, ready to be attacked at any moment. What is this man talking? There's no such thing as a rampaging beast. He's being silly. What? Where is this man? Where does he live? I want whatever Double D is smoking, bro, because he's coping, bro. He's coping hard.
He has no idea what's right outside the door. I guess he's been behind the cardboard walls for too long.
I can get behind that. I can get behind the idea that he's just been working on stuff inside the wall so long that he doesn't know about all the monsters immediately outside.
But I will say he did have some insight that it might just be Sticky Beard.
Yeah.
In one of the dialogues you had after doing the mission briefings, he does say maybe you should just go to Candy Cove and talk to Sticky Beard about it.
Sticky Beard's
and that's where the
vibing
mission
too.
sends you.
He was very flattered to get his picture taken. He was like, "Oh, hey, I guess I do look pretty good. Yeah, give him a good side. Yeah."
The thing that I wanted to touch on, because we didn't really talk too much about the nano mission.
All right,
for level 6.
Put it in your closing thoughts. That was the timer.
So my closing thoughts are, in the mission, let's see. The power pain saws.
Mm-hmm.
And the what are they called? The drill.
The hydro hammers, the power pain saws, and the newsprint ninjas were the main things we fought in this.
No, but I'm talking about for the nano mission. The
drill things. That are by Dexter's house.
Yes. They have the coordination to break in to Dexter's lab. The inherent intelligence and coordination of these various fusion enemies to come together to just cause some shit to happen on a dime. Not to mention they're smart enough to hide and steal items, or to steal and hide items. But my whole thing is someone directing them, or are they just this intelligent to do it on their own? You know what I'm saying?
That's a good question.
The tech tunnelers and the power pain saws are working together to break into Dexter's lab.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not to mention the Doom drones were also involved. They stole the Polypuff Princess dolls and they beheaded it, and they gave it to Fusion DD.
Oh yeah, we got the DD Nano. I forgot to mention that. Not much happened besides what Matt's talking about.
I'm just fascinated by the intelligence of the creatures that we're going up against, because it's either they have this own inherent intelligence on their own, or they're being directed by someone. And I don't think it's Fusion DD, because regular DD leaves much to be desired. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Are character fusions smarter or equal to the regular mob fusions? Or is it just that character fusions are stronger? I wonder what the fusion hierarchy is.
That makes me wonder, because regular DD is just, let's be honest here, she's just a regular dumb girl in every iteration. But for whatever reason, if she is directing them to work together to get this princess or the pony doll or whatever the case might be, does that mean she's smarter be by proxy of being a fusion and stronger by proxy of being a fusion?
That's a good question. That's a good idea. But a question we'll have to think about on another episode, because this is the end. Why don't you send us off, Matt?
Well, honestly, I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, make sure you get your extra fizzy flying soda located west of the cul-de-sac, located next to the porta potty inside of the trailer homes. All right, Everyone, make sure you get yours today while supplies last. And until next time.
He's been Matt. I've been Magic. Thanks for watching. Like the video. Like the video. Like the video. Like the video. And Matt usually says the funny.
Marie Canker won't leave me alone. Please buy some fizzy soda.
See you guys.